Rational numbers. A rational number is any number that can be expressed as the ratio of two integers. And if you remember, an integer is, it includes all of the natural numbers. So natural numbers and whole numbers. So let's just review some of these. Whole numbers and integers. And then we have rational numbers. So natural numbers, those are your counting numbers starting at 1. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And it keeps going. Whole numbers are all the natural numbers plus 0. So it'd be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then integers are both natural numbers, whole numbers, and your negative whole numbers. So you could write it as this: 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. And then -1, -2, and you get the idea. So integers are your positive and negative whole numbers. And then rational numbers are any number that can be expressed as the ratio of two integers. So if you have one integer, let's call it a, and you put it over another integer, b, this is called a ratio or a fraction. So it's the ratio of any two integers. And remember, integers are both your positive and negative numbers, as long as b does not equal 0, because then that would be undefined. So b cannot equal 0. So rational numbers, again, rational numbers are any number that can be expressed as a ratio of any two integers where b does not equal 0. So it's this thing here. Okay, now, what does that mean? Because you don't always have to see a rational number in this form. It could be in another form. It just has to be able to be expressed as a fraction or as a ratio of two integers. So, for example, you could have -3 over 4. That would be a rational number because -3 is an integer, because remember, integers could include the negative numbers and positive numbers. So it could be -3 over 4. Another way to write that same thing could be a +3 over a -4. Or you could put the negative out front and put 3 over 4. Now these are all equal because anytime you have a negative divided by a positive, you'll get a negative. And this one, you have a positive divided by a negative, you get a negative. Or you have two positives, a positive divided by a positive, and then you just make the whole thing a negative. So that's 3 different ways that you can write the same rational number. 3 different ways that you can write the same fraction. Now, what if we have a whole number? Can a whole number be written as a rational number, as a ratio of two integers? Well, let's take a look. If you have the number 5, we could write that as 5 over 1, because 5 divided by 1 is 5. So 5 divided by 1 is 5. So this is a ratio of two integers where b does not equal 0. So any whole number is also a rational number. What about a decimal? What if we have 4.5? Well, we could write this as 4 5/10, but we could also write it as 45/10. And we'll see that equals as well, because 45 divided by 10, well, 10 doesn't go into 4, but it goes into 45 4 times. So you have 40 45 minus 40 is 5. And then you're going to add a decimal and bring down a 0. And 10 goes into 50 5 times. So 4.5 is the answer for 45 divided by 10. So 45 divided by 10, or 45 over 10, is the way you could express 4.5. So 4.5 is a ratio of two integers because you can write it, you can express it as 45 over 10. So 4.5 is a rational number. What if you have negative 14.3? Well, that is also a rational number because you can express this as negative 143 over 10. And when you divide that out, I'm not going to actually do it, but when you divide 143 or negative 143 by 10, you'll get negative 14.3. So a rational number is any number that can be expressed as a ratio of any two integers where if it was a over b, b cannot equal 0. Okay, I think you get an idea here of what rational numbers are. In the next lesson, we'll look at graphing rational numbers on the number line, as well as ordering rational numbers or comparing rational numbers using the greater than or less than sign.